Hello, everyone. Ron Gerber with AngelBeat. So excited to do this little fireside chat, this video blog interview with Martin Holste. Martin is the field CTO at Trellix, one of the world's leading pure cybersecurity companies formed by the merger of McAfee Enterprise and FireEye. He is one of the best speakers on the AngelBeat circuit. So if all of you out there are wondering, should I attend AngelBeat? I wanted to do this brief interview with Martin where he could explain to you some of Trellix's unique and very powerful approach in incorporating AI, both within their traditional security solution around XDR, SIM. Again, that's traditional cybersecurity, which is critically important. And he's going to explain a little bit how they use AI to ensure that no alert goes unanalyzed. We're all aware that the SOC team, cybersecurity professionals, are often overwhelmed by alerts, and their inability to look at them creates a big vulnerability risk. He's going to share with you how Trellix has embraced AI to make your SOC more efficient, to ensure that your cybersecurity professionals focus on the real important alerts that require human professional intervention. Concluding, I also asked Martin to talk in a related application about how Trellix can help you secure your GenAI applications. So many of you are using OpenAI, Anthropic, Amazon Bedrock, Google Vertex. It's becoming ubiquitous, but these new types of applications create a new security vulnerability. Everyone might be familiar with the term hallucinations, and I'd like to get Martin's insights on how Trellix can help secure those applications. But to begin with, Martin, glad to have you here. Talk a little bit about the way Trellix uses AI to secure your SIM, to secure your XDR, and work across all sorts of data platforms.
All right. Thanks, Ron. Yeah, happy to share. So if you kind of think back to last year, that's really when, ChatGPT and that kind of stuff got to be really popular. And most of the players in our industry looked around and they said, well, geez, how can we get on that bandwagon? How can we make AI work for us? So they said, all right, everyone's using AI as a chatbot. Let's just smush that into our product and then our customers will love it, right? Well, that's not really what helps. So we had a very different approach at Trellix. We looked at this as a problem that could be solved and not just some shiny new technology. So we said, okay, what is the biggest problem for defenders right now? And we looked at all the great detections that were out there that people weren't noticing because they just had so many alerts coming through. And some of those in particular are the ones that, maybe weren't marked critical, but they actually told a really important story. And so I have an incident response background. I remember any really good attacker would come through and they wouldn't trip every critical alert in the enterprise, but they probably would leave a trail of breadcrumbs saying, oh, hey, there was a failed login over here. There was a service account created over here. So the approach that we took is, well, how would we actually find those kinds of things? Because nobody looks at those low-level alerts, that kind of stuff. Everyone's looking at the obvious critical thing, right? So AI doesn't get bored. And so we realized that we could have AI look at all those alerts in the background and then conduct the full level 1 investigation on all those alerts to figure out, hey, what is actually going on here? And it can do that for every single alert that comes through. And that was really kind of the magic that we uncovered with this. Wasn't, hey, I'm going to log in the morning and then ask a chatbot, hey, did I get hacked last night? That's not what you want from your security company. What we do is wake you up in the middle of the night if a bad guy is running around inside of your network and tripping all these, smaller level alerts that you can tie together. And that's the key, is that this thing, doesn't get tired, doesn't get sick, it doesn't go to sleep. It'll look at those alerts at night and then flag it when something really bad is going on that maybe isn't obvious.
And with the Trellix platform, the other advantage is it's got the flexibility to absorb or input data sources from a whole wealth of solutions, from all the big hyperscalers, from your website, from any kind of data source. And that's a real power. We use it not only to analyze the alerts, but to have many more alerts come into the system and then be effectively managed. And then the AI does almost alert triage, just saying, here are the things that, based on human design parameters, the AI can almost handle automatically. And then here are the priority alerts that require human intervention. So instead of your SOC cybersecurity professionals seeing this huge list of alerts, having to manually look at each one, the AI bot can make them much more effective and prioritize their actions. Is that
Yeah.
about right?
Exactly. We have hundreds of connectors with all of our partners. So one quick example, we have a connector for Active Directory. So now our AI knows the job profile of the person affected and to give an alert. Say, hey, it's weird for someone in sales to be running a PowerShell script. Okay, that's definitely a red flag. What else happened? Well, we have a great partnership with Tenable. Tenable has a great vulnerability management platform. We do bidirectional asset sharing with them. So we know everything that Tenable knows about the assets and they know everything that we know about it. So we could say, oh, by the way, AI, the laptop that is affected here had a very high risk score and it was running in a really weird place. The AI puts all this together and says, okay, I understand that that's something important. Somebody's got to look at this. This might have been marked as a low level alert, but given everything that's going on here, this is something somebody's got to look at.
Excellent. I think you raised another good point, which is the Trellix AI system, much like the GenAI applications we're going to talk about, is evolving. And the key requirement is smart human intervention to help enhance the output of your Trellix AI systems to make sure they learn effectively. And that's what's going on with a lot of cybersecurity professionals. Why when we have Martin talk at AngelBait, they love hearing about this because instead of doing all the manual drudgerous work, and when you have to sort through thousands of alerts, something may fall through the cracks. Instead, they're focusing more strategically. They're figuring out ways to make the GenAI output more effective. They're doing it in a way that, oh, wow, the GenAI can automatically handle this, but I need to reconfigure it, prompt engineering, fine tuning to make sure that these kind of alerts come back to human intervention. So the job of the SOC professional, the cybersecurity analyst, is not going away, but hopefully, and we've seen this in many cases, that job gets so much better in terms of employee job satisfaction, and the performance of your SOC team is so much better because nothing's going to fall through the cracks.
Yeah.
Maybe you can also comment a little bit on how the same mindset Trellix can offer companies can also help them with their own GenAI applications. A lot of organizations are concerned about data leakage. They're concerned about how do you set up guardrails, how do you monitor them, because the output of GenAI applications changes over time. Maybe you could talk about the way Trellix is at the leading edge of understanding the OWASP 10 major vulnerabilities and why Trellix can also help your application developers working in tandem with the SOC professionals, ensure that your own applications are more effective.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the OWASP top 10 for LLMs is essentially similar to any of the risks that you have with an application that you're running, but with a flavor that applies to AI. And so why that's important is that we have, because of all those connectors, the ability to get all the visibility that we need into what's going on in an application. So that means that we also have the ability to see the telemetry that's generated by prompts that are running in LLMs. And so we can bring that in and give that visibility to defenders and have that AI police the things that it's seeing. So if there's, some prompts that look fishy coming from a new attacker, the LLM can review all of that and say, hey, that doesn't look right. Somebody's got to take a look at this. And then on the other side, most of the time, we're really worried about sensitive data leaking through LLMs, whether that's an LLM having access to something it shouldn't or someone putting something in an LLM that they shouldn't. And for that, we have a couple of different methods. We have our data leakage prevention product that can run directly on an endpoint. And that can go as far as making sure you don't copy and paste something into ChatGPT. I mean, that's a big concern. So that's one right off the bat. But then on the other side, we also have things that can run on servers that can look at the data going in and out of databases. And that's a great place to, basically catch any sensitive data before it could even make it into an application that has an LLM embedded in it. So we have those two different methods for making sure that your sensitive data is going to stay where it should.